Hello, good evening. Thanks for taking our time, guys, today evening and attending this info session. I'm Mohit. I'm a program manager with this Pilani Big Data Engineering program, and I have with me Vibhor Sharma. Vibhor is the content strategist, and he heads the practice for preparing this Big Data Engineering program. So he's been working a lot with the industry and Pilani professors. So we thought, we just have a good chat today about what are the latest trends we are observing in the IT industry in big data, and also tell you guys about the program. I thought that would be a good discussion as well. But I think before we begin, would just like to say that if you can hear us, please type yes on the discussion forum on your chat option, right? Our counselors are there to moderate this webinar. So, please feel free to ask any questions that you have. Vibhor and I will answer these questions here, right? Secondly, just introduce yourself on the chat forum so that, we can understand each other better, right? So say for example, if you're Rahul from Pune working at TCS, say as a Java developer, just type Rahul Pune TCS Java developer. So your name, city, role, and which company do you come from? Just type that out, and we'll be happy to sort of help you with any questions that you have, right? So without any further delay, let's just begin. So I'll just maybe yep, yep, great. Yes, great. So guys, let's talk about what is happening in the IT industry today. So we have uh, I think we keep on reading a lot of articles in the newspaper, lots of noise around that. There's a huge job loss which is happening in the IT industry today. That's the narrative that we're hearing around. But from my interactions with the IT business leaders that I've had over the past 1.5 to 2 years, what I've realized is that it is not the job loss that is happening per se. It is more like a repositioning that is happening. So traditional things, like say development in Java, .NET, C++, testing, maintenance. These are not the things which the IT industry can survive on for the next 5 to 10 years coming. Most of the new jobs are coming in the areas of big data, data science, analytics, machine learning. These are some of the areas where the new jobs of tomorrow are coming in. And hence, what we're seeing is the traditional jobs are reducing, and jobs in these areas are increasing, and that is the migration that we are seeing. And hence, it is imperative that for a lot of us working in IT and tech, it is imperative that we take this onus to upskill ourselves right now. We transition from those traditional roles more to the new age data roles, and I think that's the narrative that we've largely seen.
Yeah, so the IT projects are changing. The kind of projects that used to come earlier, most of the back projects were related to just building a few systems, building dashboards, building simple enough tools, reporting tools for the companies, and the amount of data generated was quite low. So the projects were mirroring that, but now the companies that are outsourcing to our IT companies, they have a huge amount of data with them. They need to analyze that. So that's why the whole data analytics, big data field, plus the machine learning field have come in, and the kind of projects are changing. New languages, new technologies have come up. So there's a demand from IT from IT companies to shift to these so that they can shift into these, and the people. So they are looking for the people who actually know these technologies. So that's a shift that I think we are seeing.
No, I think, guys, there's a small lighting issue probably. Maybe I'll just readjust the computer. Yeah, I think, guys, hope this is better. I think from the lighting perspective, so I think coming back, I think you made a valid point before that that a lot of companies today are moving on to these database technologies. And they need skilled professionals. And in fact, guys, a lot of these technologies, like let's take big data for example. Big data technologies like Hadoop and all were the commercial implementation of these technologies is not more than 3 to 4 years old. So the industry is also learning as we speak, and they require people who have good skills, who have some good experience, hands-on experience. That is what the industry requires. But these are not very old. If you go back and look at how soon the commercial implementation of some of these technologies started, it's not very old.
Yeah, most of these are like most of the projects started coming up 4 5 years back, and many projects are actually in proof of concept stages only. So it's a new technology, and people are still learning. There's still a lot of content that needs to be developed for people to learn this and all that.
Yeah, sure. So guys, now let's having established the fact that there's not a lot of opportunity or growth left in the traditional IT, and we need to move to things like data. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to post that right now. But coming back, having established the fact that we need to move towards something like big data or data science, machine learning, right? Uh, I think one question which often I've heard from students is that what are these different sort of fields, analytics, machine learning, big data, or how are they different, or how should I choose between some of them, right? So we'll just take a minute here to maybe explain that to you, right? So let's look at from a company's perspective. If I understand how is the data flowing through an organization, then maybe I can understand these different things better. So from a company's perspective, the first thing is they have to collect data from lots and lots of places. So we have things say coming from a cell phone tower. We have something say coming from a Google Maps GPS location probably. We have something say coming maybe from the speedometer of a car, right? So all of these data coming in from different places need to be sort of sanitized and stored at a central location. So they need to be processed, analyzed, and stored at a central location, right? And that is fundamentally something which data engineers were doing when the data size was manageable.
Yeah.
With a lot of data being now generated, different large volumes of data being generated, different types of data coming in from multiple different sources, we need to put that all together, and hence we have these big data technologies coming in, right? So for these big data technologies, most of the data engineers will be working in the area of bringing the data from multiple different sources
into the they bring into the data warehouses or data lakes that they have built so that it can be processed. Earlier, if you see a website like say Google and all, they weren't collecting that much data. No one was collecting, even credit card companies didn't collect your purchase and that kind of data. But now the scale of data is enormous. So earlier you could do it with simple systems, just running some SQL queries or some other tools. But now it's become very large, and almost many a lot of data is actually coming in real time, like tweets, Facebook posts, etc. are coming in real time. So that needs to be simply it needs to be processed very fast. So they need to build systems wherein such data comes in into a pipeline right away, and then the models can be applied on that. So all that has changed a lot, and all this is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So guys, having understood that, I think now let's move on to what is the next thing that person will do after this. We have the data coming in, we've stored it, we've transformed it, we have sort of sanitized it. Post this, we will have people who will be analyzing this data, which is what typically are the data analysts.
Data analysts or data scientists.
Yeah, so these people will typically have good skills. Analysts especially will have very good skills in visualizations, in reporting, in SQL, wherein they can go and query the data as per the business requirement, come back, present their analysis. They'll also have very good soft skills in terms of dealing with business people, right? Yeah. So that's the sort of things that typically data analysts do, right? And of course, data scientists are those people who have a lot of experience in mathematics, statistics, somewhat in computation as well. Possibly postgraduates in these things, right? Yeah. Who will work and come and develop the predictive models on top of data. So so as to say that okay, if my speed is consistently above 80 km per hour for 5 minutes, say stop the engine, for example, right? So they will come in and develop these models on top of the data, using machine learning and different technologies. Sort of different techniques like NLP, deep learning, these sort of things. But these are guys who are specifically having a good postgraduate experience in mathematics and statistics, right? Mm-hmm. So I hope that to some extent clarifies also the different tracks that we have: engineering,
the engineering track,
and data science. Yeah. And of course within these you have all sort of associated roles as well. You have managers, leads, admins, engineers. You have lots of different roles, but largely these are the three different tracks that we have seen in the tech side of the data industry. Yeah. Now, what is happening in this big data industry today? Just some facts for you guys. The industry is growing at about 25 to 30% year on year. It is slated to go at sort of grow at this pace for the next 7 to 8 years as well, right? Which means that for the every sort of every 2 to 3 years, the number of jobs in the industry, if you do the math, they are going to sort of double, and that's what is, I think, a big trend that we are observing right now.
Yeah, there's a huge demand for people who know the tool and technologies that are being used for big data processing or even data analytics, and it's forecasted to keep on growing. And most of the jobs are actually very high paying jobs, and uh, uh, they pay because of the scarcity of the people in the industry right now. Companies are willing to pay a premium to the people who have these skills.
Yeah, fair, fair. Great. So I think guys, if I look at just the salary perspective also, just from the monetary perspective, uh, you do have a lot of cases wherein people working in technologies like big data today are getting about 30 to 60% higher salaries compared to that they were earning in traditional IT. I think that is not unheard of. Even in extreme cases, and I'll encourage you to go and read up this thing, which an industry expert has written for us at blog.upgrad.com, right? But we have not. It is not unheard of for people with having good skills to even earn 2x or 3x the salary that they are earning currently. Because if you have the skills, the industry is willing to pay you. And what sort of companies am I talking about? These are IT sector companies. These are sort of large leading financial sector companies, retail companies, and others.
Yeah.
So I think there are a lot of opportunities for people available. Fair, great. So guys, I'll just take a pause here. If you have any questions, right, about uh, you know about your career, or about given your past experience, do you think it sort of makes sense for you to transition into big data or not? I think we have a Vibhor here. We can help answer some of these questions. We'll be glad to sort of take up anything that you have here.
Yeah.
We'll just take a pause here, guys. I think we have few questions before.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a question from Ravi Pandey. Who's asking, why should we choose big data? I think Ravi, we just answered this question, but I think just to summarize, Ravi, A, big data has good growth. Just the numbers say that the job is growing, right? Better salary, right? Three, you will be working on better and more impactful projects. For example, things like Aadhaar is completely built on big data. You look at some of your sort of best technologies. Look at music streaming apps.
Yeah, most of the new innovations are actually coming in big data. If you see most of the companies like Facebook, Spotify, all those companies, and even now, in healthcare and financial industry, big data is playing a really vast role, and it's helping develop really kind of great projects that are coming up. So that's one of the reasons that the projects are good, the opportunities are good, and that's the main reason that probably you should choose big data.
Fair. So Ravi, I think if you'd like to have a personal chat, with one of our counselors, who will be equipped to answer your question as well, maybe you want them to go into your previous background and your previous history as well, let us know. Our counselors can get in touch with you, right? Yeah. So Vibhor, I think the other questions, are more about the program. I think per se. So I think let's just quickly move ahead with the program that we have.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can take questions from Vijay, Monica, and others. Right?
Yeah.
So guys, this program specifically has been developed for the big data side of it. So if you recall, we had created three parts.
Yeah.
Right? Big data, data analytics, and sort of machine learning, right? So if you look at if you were to log on to say Upgrad website, you would see that we have three programs. One is big data engineering. The next is we have something in data science. Third is machine learning. The machine learning program caters to the machine learning side of it. Data science caters to the analytics, and this big data program caters more to the tech side of it. Which is the sort of big data domain of it, which we spoke about. Now, how should you decide? Which program do you want to go for, or more importantly, which career do you want to go for? Right. The way is that you should look and ask yourself, what is my interest or strength area, right? So you should ask yourself, am I a person who comes in from maybe a very good IT or a software engineering background? Am I a person who comes in with, who likes tech more? Then that fundamentally be, or do you like building scalable systems, right? That means that
Yeah.
you want to work more on the big data side of it, right? Whereas if you're a person who likes to build predictive models, who likes to sort of dabble with math, with stats,
Yeah, look
somewhat
into numbers and
look into numbers, right?
probably if you think that just looking at numbers, you start thinking about what can I get out of this,
Yeah.
what are the insights this is giving me. So that puts you more towards the data analyst or data scientist part of the
Exactly.
track.
Yeah, I think well put. Yeah. So and I think as a data scientist, you'll also be expected to sort of have a domain understanding, which you will eventually develop as you sort of mature and grow in that domain as well.
Yeah.
So if that is what you like, I think that's where you should move to numbers, math, stats. If you're always grappling with the question, what can I infer from this data? That's what you should do. Whereas if you're a big data guy, you want to build systems, tech, that's what you should be doing, right?
Yeah.
So having said that, I think this program, Big Data Engineering from BITS Pilani, is mainly for the tech-focused people, right? So about 80 to 90% of the curriculum or of the learning will be on the big data side of it. About 10-20% of it will also be on the analytics, because eventually, both of you need, both the analysts and the scientists and the engineers need to work in unison for a product to be developed.
Yeah.
So, Vibhu, why don't we just take students through our sort of syllabus?
Yeah.
So we have a course one which starts with the basics of computer science, which is data structures,
data
algorithms.
structures and algorithms. So basically, the course one is to build your foundations for people, so that they get the idea of how the systems are built at completely basic level for a distributed system. So say you would have heard about Hadoop, but Hadoop is actually built on a Hadoop distributed file system. And how do you build a file system? What is a distributed file system? How the computers are connected, how they interact with all that. So all that we cover in our foundations course, the course one, where we talk about these things. We also talk about the data structures present in the programming languages, what data structures provide you, what kind of runtime, and we compare them according to we teach you how you can think of situation like when to use which data structure and all that. So that's the foundations course, and then we move on to the actual.
So just having one question here. I think we may have a lot of people who either would be a computer science graduate right now, or would be in some way programming, or would have programmed at some time in their life. So why do you think this course one foundation when we are is very important for them?
Yeah, so this course is important because it's far more advanced than the undergrad course that most of the people would have done, and because it's not basically just simple computer programming or vanilla computer programming. We have included the big data component also into this. So whenever we are teaching you about a data structure or a particular algorithm, we are also teaching this, keeping in mind that you are learning about big data, and we are linking both of these together. We are building a very good foundation for the big data part of it, and going through this course, you'll actually be able to learn about how actually MapReduce works. How do you think about a MapReduce problem? If you are given a problem, how do you design the whole algorithm for MapReduce from scratch and all that? I think that's the difference that the people who are already working in software engineering, or people who have computer science undergrads, they'll find.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, I think from course one onwards, course two, we will be, sort of having things in, different platforms for big data, different distributed platforms, where we'll be dealing with things like Hadoop, Spark, MapReduce.
So we have broken down the whole big data pipeline into, first comes the processing part, wherein you get the data, and we are talking about Hadoop, MapReduce, Spark, all the processing platforms. And then we are talking about, once the data is in the platforms, then how do you actually, perform queries on this? What tools, technologies do you use to, filter some data, sample data, transform it into different requirements as per the, requirements given by the analytics team. Then we are also talking a bit about, how to handle real time and streaming data. So, as we had mentioned before, the demand for real-time data analysis is growing very fast. Data is being produced continuously, and people want, quick analysis of the data. So we also cover that, and what all technologies, open source tools you can teach, and how what are actually the fundamental differences between analyzing a data that's sitting in your warehouse or databases, and how is it different from something that's coming in real time. So that we cover. And last course, course 5 in our program is talks about the analytics side of the thing, wherein we cover libraries and all that, which data analytics would help big data engineers perform some level of data
Machine
analytics,
learning.
machine learning on the data. This is important because ultimately the whole big data system is being built for getting some output in form of analytics out of it. And by learning about these technologies as a big data engineer, you'll be you'll be able to better talk to the analytics team, data scientists, and all the people working on the other side of analytics team, and understand their requirements, and then build systems according to that. Yeah.
Great. So guys, I think before I take a few questions which have just come in, I'll just quickly describe what really happens in this program. Right, we
Yeah.
have 5 courses. Towards the end, we have a capstone project also. Which is sourced from the industry. So you work on something which is relevant, which is really happening in the industry right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Apart from that, every course will have a lot of assignments and projects. Because industry requires people who are hands-on, and we intend to create people who are hands-on, right? So
Yeah.
we will sort of provide you lots and lots of hands-on experience on the latest tools and technologies on AWS cloud as well. In fact, 2, 3, 4, 5 courses, right? They have projects from the industry as well.
Yeah, so we have sourced projects from different industries, music industry, streaming industry, healthcare, finance, etc. And you'll be working on those data sets. So you'll be actually solving problems that companies in the industry are actually solving. How are they building platforms? You'll be learning from the industry experts themselves. They'll be recording the lectures, and we'll have the data sets available from them, and we'll have sessions also with them wherein you can learn about this. The hands-on component is actually very important. It will help you build a complete portfolio of projects which you can showcase to to the recruiters or people looking to hire big data engineers. Yeah.
So secondly, guys, I think apart from the hands-on and the project, right? I think the focus here is on the fact that you'll be learning from very seasoned Pilani professors,
Yeah.
very good industry professionals, and we have professionals who've spent almost 20 years in this data management, big data industry at companies like Accenture, InMobi, American Express. These are ones who have created these systems at such large companies, right? So these are the ones who have laid out the vision for the entire course. They have said this is what a guy who is aspiring to get into big data tomorrow, or in the next 5 years, should know. These are the sort of people that we have sort of collaborated with, right? Secondly, you will be having a lot of experience with sort of your peers as well. Because even though your learning will be online, you will have a lot of peer-to-peer learning. We have a very interactive discussion forum, on which people ask questions. You may answer your peer's question, your peer may answer your question. We will have teaching assistants from Pilani, who will keep on answering your doubts, right? You'll have a student mentor, so there's a lot of interaction. Plus, at times, at regular intervals, we'll also be having a lot of offline meetups.
Yeah.
So, I think where you have the opportunity to meet a prof, you have the opportunity to meet an
industry experts, work on the problems, projects, discuss about the kind of ideas that you're working on, and learn, firsthand from them.
Works. And lastly, I think, we will also, be sort of providing with all the, sort of learning materials, software that you need, sort of, we'll be using authentic software as well.
So, we'll be providing you with detailed installation guidelines, plus the team at Upgrad. We have a support team that will help you, work on installation, help you during the running of the software. If you are facing any issues, you can raise a ticket, and we'll get back to you. And it will become most of the softwares, tools, or technologies that we are using are the latest ones in the market, and you'll be getting hands-on experience on them.
Yeah. Fair. So guys, while this is an online course, there are a lot of offline interaction components. We'll also have some live discussions in maybe once in 2 to 3 weeks with the profs, with the industry experts, right? And believe me, guys, I think as we speak, we have our first batch running in parallel. We've had students from amazing, sort of network of companies. In fact, we We have representations from 145 companies in the current batch itself. Companies like Apple, Microsoft, JP Morgan, Amazon,
Yeah.
TCS, Infosys, right? We have people from all these BPCL, all these leading companies have students in our programs. You will be having a great sort of set. Just before I move ahead, just a couple of points. A lot of us will eventually be taking this program for learning and subsequently for jobs.
So,
So, how does this program help you make a career for yourself? Right? That's very important. So, guys, the answer to this is that we have something called as career services. Right? There are 5 key elements to these career services. First, we have is that we will be facilitating a lot of consultation calls for you with the big data sort of professionals, so that you can identify which one of the big data tracks is something that I should be making my career in basis my past experience. So, if I'm someone who likes maths and stuff, maybe analytics is more for me. If I'm someone who likes tech, maybe engineering is more for me. Within engineering, what are the different options that I have? How should I look at transitioning? All of these are very important questions, and often we sort of underestimate the importance of effective mentoring here.
yeah.
And we will be providing you sort of opportunity to network with such people, learn from them. And these are people who are actually working in the building industry right now, who are recruiting for these leading companies. So that's one, consultation calls, right? Second, we'll be providing you with mock interviews. Again, sort of with these people who are working, who are recruiting, right? So that by the time you get ready for an actual interview, you know what one looks like, what questions are being asked, how can you improve. Each person, each mentor will give you effective feedback on how to improve yourself and on how to position yourself in the best possible fashion in an interview. Right. So second is mock interviews. Third is we'll be doing a lot of sort of feedback on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile, because these are very important sources in hiring. So we'll be providing you with extensive feedback on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile, so that you can improve that and again showcase yourself in the best possible fashion. That's number three. Number four, we'll be having some tech competitions, coding competitions, which are normally a part of the evaluation of various companies as well.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll also be putting up a lot of projects, which you can showcase to different companies, right? Once that is done, then I think you can showcase yourself in the best possible manner. That's number four. A lot of coding technical competitions as well. And the last point is we have a network of about 100 companies in the data industry today. The companies like WNS, Paytm,
Yeah.
Thomson Reuters, KPMG, Auris Analytics, Opera, Fractal Analytics. All of these companies have hired from us in the past. So we'll be inviting applications from them again. And should there be a match between what you want, what the company wants, you can go ahead and take a job from us as well. Right? So those are the sort of things we provide, right? And I think now it's time. I think we take up a few questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I think we've spoken a lot about tech coding, right? But
Yeah.
do you think that a person who has maybe who's done coding say way back in his life, or but who's interested in coding, right?
Yeah.
Can he take up this program? And if yes, what elements do we have to help him out here?
So, for people who are not from coding background or who haven't coded for long, we have a prep content available which brings you up to speed to the programming standards that we expect from you during the main course. So you have Java programming, data structures, a session content on algorithms and SQL programming available as a part of prep content. You can spend some time on it. It has a lot of coding practice questions, also a lot of multiple choice questions to help you get up to the speed. So for people who haven't coded, or who have a very less experience in programming, for them it's important to do this prep content well, so that when the actual course starts, you're up to speed, because big data does require programming, and our content specifically is focused on big data engineers who will be actually doing hands-on programming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, guys, not to worry. Our existing batch also has about 20%
Yeah.
people who have not had a lot of immediate coding experience. So in case you do not have, you can go through these pre-program preparatory sessions that Vibhor just mentioned about. As you confirm your enrollment, you will get access to these, right? And you can feel free to sort of take up these sessions. They are provided to you free of cost. Learn coding and then start the program again. I'm sure, guys, that will help you immensely, irrespective of the job that you're working in. You work as a big data engineer, some other engineer. These are things that will always help you, right? So let's take a few questions now, right? We have a question from Vijay Agarwal. how are the classes conducted, what time, what day of the week, how are exams conducted, what are the patterns, what are how do I get my grades, right?
Yeah.
So Vijay, the classes, are a combination of recorded sessions with the BITS Pilani and the industry professor that you'll be spending about 2 to 3 hours, sort of 2 to 3 hours a week.
Yeah.
You'll be reviewing that, you'll be doing a lot of questions, assignments as well. That's about another 2 to 3 hours of the week, right? And once in 2 to 3 weeks, we may have some bit of a live session with the prof, with the industry. And then, I think once in every couple of months, we may have an offline event, as a base camp in some of the top cities, right? As far as your grading goes, we have
So we have different components.
yeah, so
Like we have
assignments.
exams, we have graded multiple choice questions, we have projects that count a part of your grade, and we have exams also. So you'll be provided regular updates on each of these components, and basis how you perform in these components, a cumulative grade for a particular course would be calculated for you. As for the exams, exams are online proctored exams. Uh, they happen
Thrice in a course. Thrice in the program.
thrice in the program.
So we have exams after course one and course two. That is a combined exam. After course two, we have a combined exam for course one and two.
Yeah.
Right? We have one exam after course three. We have one more exam after course five.
Yeah.
Right. So we have three exams. Right. I hope that answers your question, Vijay. Right. I think Vijay also has one more question. I think Vijay probably comes from a administration or a support engineering background.
Yeah.
So do you think that Vijay falls in the target group of students that we have? I think we already have such students.
Yeah, we have such students who are doing well in our current cohort, and definitely you are a target audience for us, and you should be able to do well in the program.
Yeah, great. I think Monica wanted to understand this course better. She wanted some background about the prerequisites. I hope, Monica, we've answered your question about the prerequisites for the course. Let's take Murtaza's question. What are we going to do as a data scientist? What are we going to work on as how? So, Murtaza, I hope I've answered your question earlier. What does a data scientist do?
Yeah.
What skills do you require? Right? Maybe we'll take the next one, which is Jay's question. So, Jay is an operations manager over, and he doesn't have a lot of coding experience. He doesn't like it too, but he is interested in math and SQL. So do you think this is the right program for him, or maybe we should look at some of the analytics programs or the data science programs?
So, if you keeping in mind that you are an operation manager and you have mentioned that you don't like programming, but you do like maths and SQL, probably the data analytics or data science field would be more suited for you, as there your these interests will actually help you learn faster and grow far more better.
Deepti had a question. I think she uses only Excel. So does this course contain some programming? Yes, Deepti does, and do you need some experience? We don't ask for a lot of prior experience. We impart these skills to the program itself. So if you can go through a pre-program preparatory sessions well enough, I think you'll be able to pick it up.
Yeah.
Right. Deepti had another question, by the way. Go ahead. She wanted to develop her career in the data field, and I think she's been hearing words like analytics, data science, artificial intelligence. So how are all of these things different?
Yeah. So data science, as we talked before, you'll be basically you have advanced level skills in mathematics, modeling different kind of analytics model that exists in the industry. You know all about them, and you have specific domain knowledge also. So you'll be responsible for creating new models. So basis a company's requirement that I need we need to come up with analytics for this. We need to find out a particular thing. Like say we want to find out the number of customers who have been doing the activity X for the past few months. So as a data scientist, you will be responsible for thinking of I have all this kind of data with me. What kind of model should I develop? And how can I predict that who how can I predict that who are the users who will be doing this activity in the future and all that. Whereas a data analyst, you'll have the specific requirements given to you. There'll be specific requirements related to report generation, visualization, creating of dashboards and all that, and you'll be responsible to doing that. And artificial intelligence is very new kind of upcoming field wherein you actually train your software to think like think on its own, and basis the teachings they are able to respond to certain queries that are being processed asked by them automatically, and the program is able to think and deal with the data on its own. So that's what artificial intelligence is right now dealing with. It's a very niche and upcoming field, and we are starting to see very good projects upcoming in this field. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. So we'll take one, I think, couple of questions we have. I think we have a question from Suman, about placements. Suman, I hope I've addressed your question about the 5 elements of career services that we have. And I think we've got one question from Shalu that we have is, Shalu is an MSc chemistry student, and as a part of her, sort of master's studies, she is interested in computational chemistry. She's done a lot of work in analytics before this as
Yeah.
well for her theoretical chemistry projects. Do you think this course can help her in some way, or you think that something else will help her out here?
So I think mm, seeing your background, probably a data analytics or data science program would again be more helpful for you. You have some experience in already doing data analytics, and also probably you can learn more about data science, and then as you have very good domain knowledge in chemistry, you can start looking for projects or companies that are upcoming in that particular industry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair. I think hope we've answered your questions, right? In case you have any further questions, please feel free again to post down here. Maybe I'll now just talk about the admission process, right? So, guys, this program requires you to be a bachelor's graduate at least have 6 months of work experience, and have at least 55% marks in your qualifying university or UG or PG exam. Right?
Yeah.
Now you can go on to upgrad.com, and in the big data program you can go out and apply for the program. There's a small application form that you'll be required to fill in. Uh, you know After this, BITS Pilani will be sort of reviewing your profile, right? Once you receive a shortlist offer from them for admission, you'll be required to pay the fees of the program. 25,000 for blocking your fees, and then the remaining installments of 1 lakh each before the program begins. Now, we do have some very exciting, flexible payment options as well. You can pay in installments, at almost 0% interest rate as well, right? You can pay through credit card, net banking. We have all the options available, and you should get in touch with our counselors. Should you face any problems, or should you want to evaluate some of these options. But I see that we have got 2 questions here. One from Vikas, one from Anjali. So maybe we'll just take these questions. So Vikas has a question. Why should we choose this particular program from BITS over others like Edureka and Sophie? So maybe I'll take this question before. So because I think without specifically referring to the others that you've mentioned, right? I'll talk about what this program is about, right? This is about a very sort of reputed university like BITS Pilani. We have the top faculty members from BITS Pilani. In fact, some of the professors who we're going to learn from are going to be deans at BITS Pilani, ex-heads of departments of computer science and distributed computing divisions at BITS Pilani. And the experts that we have are unparalleled. As I said earlier, 20 years experience building the big data systems at companies like Accenture, American Express, you successfully graduate from the program, you get a PG certification in big data from BITS Pilani, you get the kind of projects that we have. I think again, we've again sources from the industry. It's very, very hands-on. Our network of partnerships in terms of placements as well, right? I think all of this put together, right? I don't see one single program today in the country which can combine all of this together. And I think that is what I think differentiates us from the others. So I hope I've answered your question. And Anjali asks the question: is it possible to switch from big data to data analytics with experience in data? Definitely, Anjali. In fact, I was just talking to a few big data sort of experts over the last couple of weeks, and I think they mentioned that if you have a good sound understanding of big data, that ensures that you understand how does data flow within the company. Where does it come from, where does it go, what is the transformation that is done on it. Once you understand that, then you can eventually start developing models on it. You can start asking questions from it. So some of the best data scientists, in fact, if I'm not wrong, are the people who have lots and lots of idea of big data.
Yeah.
Right.
So, as a big data engineer, you'll know all the details about how the particular data comes, and you'll be able to better communicate with the people who are actually providing with you with data as a data scientist. And in this field, it's actually very easy to interchange between the roles, as you can easily change because you'll have the knowledge of the particular systems and particular processing of data. What you'll just need to learn is some bit of modeling and a little bit of mathematics and some bit of analytics. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So, guys, any other questions that you have? I think hope we've answered your question as well, Anjali. So, any other questions that you have, guys, please feel free again to post on the forum. I think we'll be glad to address any questions that you have. Anything, any doubts that you have about the course. Any doubts that you have about why is it relevant for me? Why should I be doing this? Or is this the best course? Like Vikas had a question. Any questions that you have, again, please feel free to post on this. We'll be glad to address any questions that you have. Great. I think, guys, in case we don't have any further questions, I think it was great interacting with you today evening. Right?
Yeah.
I think both Vibhor and I had a great time.
We got some good questions.
Yeah. Very good questions. I think we had a great time interacting with you. I'll just urge you guys. In case you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our counselors. They are very quick to answer them. Read up our blogs on blog.upskill.com. In the data section, I think you'll find some amazing blogs written by industry experts. Go and send out an email to us at bigdata_bitspilani@upskill.com. And repeat bigdata_bitspilani@upskill.com. I think we'll just take one question, which is from Deepthi. How many installments can we pay? And what is SaaS? And why are most people shifting towards this? So Deepthi, I think you can pay in equal installments of 12 divisions, across 12 months, right? And SaaS, right? So Deepthi, SaaS is more like a tool which people are using more today for analytics and reporting purposes, right? So when you have such large volumes, you build some models on which maybe you cannot do it in Excel, and people are using SaaS.
People are using SaaS. So a lot of tools are there in the industry, and one of the important things that you as a big data engineer or data scientist or analyst need to learn is that what tool or technology to particular use in a particular situation. So there are a lot of tools in the industry, and most of them have their use it according to the different configurations, and you can use different tools as per the requirements.
Yeah. Great. I think, guys, was wonderful interacting with you. Hope you got some clarity about your next career move, and I think it was wonderful having spent this time today. As I said, reach out to our counselors, send out emails to bigdata_bitspilani@upgrade.com. Should you want to schedule some calls with any one of us, reach out to read out our blogs on blog.upgrade.com, right? And wishing you all the very best, guys. Thank you for taking our time today.